Okay, so I got a lid here just to draw the like half a circle, and then I map out with my pencil where I'm going to be putting the markings on the top of that. The middle bit is called a comb, and I've drawn 3 of these, and I've drawn 3 wavy lines and then kind of reverse them. They're kind of like their leaves actually. You could kind of draw each section like a leaf, and just draw a vein down the middle of each one just so you don't get confused. I've drawn some behind just because I want a bit of movement. Now these tendrils coming down now, I do draw some in front of the combs, and I've done them darker. I've pressed down harder so you can see. And so when you're putting the pen down, just make sure that you don't, like I'm doing here, like I'm avoiding the tendrils. So I'm going to kind of just so it's like tucked behind them. But I'm using 2 pens again, so this is my thicker pen here. And I use a thick pen to do the bell as well. So now I get my small pen and I draw the veins, well, the line in the middle of the comb, just still making sure that I'm not going over the pencil tendrils there. Now I draw with my thin pen just 1 line of it. Because it gets a bit complicated, I use a rubber now to rub it out, and then when it comes to draw the other side of the tendril to make it like whole, it's so much easier now all that pencil's gone that I can totally see what I'm doing. So yeah, just finishing them now and just filling in the gaps, because just filling in the gaps so they all connect. But can you see how the thinner tendrils are above the comb? Shading it in, we just use the flicky motion now, exactly the same how we do the leaves, going one way and then going the other way, all the way up. With the smaller sections of the comb, I don't use my thicker pen, obviously because it's too small and I didn't want it to look a bit blocky. So once I've done this bit, I just get my smaller pen and do this exactly the same thing, but just because it's thinner, it just has smaller detail. It's just, you just got to be really careful not to go over the tendrils. It seemed to really throw people off this bit on Sunday, but you know, as always, everyone nailed it afterwards. But it's just a bit more fiddly, this part. Yeah, I get my small pen now and I just do exactly the same. You can make these bits longer or shorter as well. You can even change the top of the jellyfish, just however you want to do it. This is just how I draw them. And now I add my blemishes. I love doing the blemishes. And even just adding those little dots there, I think makes it look great. So yeah, I do those on every single part, doing bigger ones and smaller ones. Absolutely up to you if you want to do them or where you put them. So now I'm doing the top of the bell. So you can, I just made this up really. I did lines going down either side and I made sure that I followed the curve of the bell. So on the left-hand side, I did them curving to the left. On the right, I had them curving to the right. And I just kind of made it up as I went along now. Can you see we're using the pencil marks there as our guide and just doing the dots and the lines coming from that. I added more blemishes on this one just because I like the way they looked on the comb. So I did that with my thicker pen and now I'm going back with the smaller pen and just adding some little dots. I didn't want to put too much on the thinner tendrils, so I just did a smidge, like a little bit of dots on the top to have like a shadow from the bell. And then now just adding the pencil just to really contrast those bits. Thinking about where shadow would be as well. So obviously because they're in the middle of the jellyfish, they'd be a lot darker. The one there, just making that extra dark because that's tucked behind the other ones. But still leaving a negative space as well, so it kind of gives the illusion of it being 3D. Yeah, I was going to leave the bell, but actually when I rubbed it out, I thought it didn't look dark enough, so I'm just getting the pencil now and just adding some nice bits. I didn't actually rub any of it in, actually. I just let the pencil do its thing here. Yeah, and I just keep adding, going back to it, adding it, going back to it. Because they're quite opaque, add whatever you want to add, thinking about whether you could see maybe the bits underneath or whatever. It's completely up to you.